Okay, good afternoon. I'm Hayley Jones. I'm the new EAS partner, and I'll be working with you on the Sacres. So just good afternoon and thank you for joining us for this Caerphilly Sacre meeting being held Thursday, 25th of November at 2 p.m. today. So this meeting obviously is being held remotely via Microsoft Teams because of all the restrictions in relation to COVID. So our first order of business today on the agenda, which has been passed over to me, is to appoint a chair and a vice chair to our Caerphilly Sacre. So please can I have nominations for a chair?
Could I nominate Councillor Taylor?
Seconded.
Perfect, that's going to be my next thing, a second nomination, so we have that. Are there any other nominations? Excellent. So can I ask all members then to use their hands up function to vote if you are in agreement with this? Excellent. And Beck, I think everybody had a chance to vote. Is that correct? So I can now confirm then that Councillor Taylor is now chair. So I'd like to hand over to our chair. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Hayley, and thank you, members. Could I ask for nominations for vice chair, please? Could I, from the chair, then nominate Janet Jones from the Church in Wales, the current vice chair, to be re-elected?
May I second, John, please?
Right, thank you, Liz. Are there any other nominations? Well, if not, could I ask members to use the hands up function to vote confirming Janet Jones as vice chair?
That's carried, Chair.
Right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I can see that Councillor Teresa Parry is just joining us, so welcome, Teresa. Good afternoon, thank you, members. As was said earlier, this meeting has been recorded and it will be made available to view via the Council's website, except for any discussions involving confidential or exempt items. Therefore, the images or audio of those individuals present and or speaking will be publicly available to all via the recording on the Council website at www.caerphilly.gov.uk. And now I'm going to take a roll call of those who are present. Councillor Aldworth, I can see you were present.
Present, Chair.
Councillor Collis? No, we haven't got Councillor Collis. We've had apologies from Councillor Oliver. I can see Councillor Teresa Parry is there. Councillor Simmons has sent his apologies, and I'm here. We'll now go through the teacher representatives. We've had apologies from Helen Bartley and Tara Lloyd. Is Miney Jones of ICAC with us?
She's not present, Chair.
No, she's not present. And I can see that Catherine McCulloch and Claire McLaughlin are with us. So that's fine. From the religious organisations, we've had apologies from Envis Hawthorne, and I can see that Janet Jones is with us. Apologies from Martin Weston and Michael Gray. Major Paula Hubbard of the Salvation Army, I don't think is with us.
No, Chair, she's not in attendance.
And Mr. Ken Chamberlain from Wales Humanists, I don't think he's present either, is he?
That's correct, Chair, he's not in attendance.
Right, thank you. I need to check that the other officers are here. I can see that obviously Hayley is here because she started off the meeting. Vicky Bodenham, I can see, is here. And I can tell that you were here as well, Rebecca, our clerk. So I'd like to welcome Vicky and Hayley to the Sacre, and Hayley has taken over from Paula Webber as the EAS person responsible for RE and looking after the Sacres in the EAS area. And Vicky is from the school improvement team. And so welcome you to the meeting. I'm also like to welcome officers from the committee services who are present in the background, ready for any technical help we may need. And as shown with my IT just before the meeting, we can lose connectivity at any time. So so thank you for confirming your attendance with us. I'd like to remind attendees that if they lose connection during the meeting, please make every attempt to reconnect. However, the meeting will continue as long as the meeting is quorate. And committee services people are on hand and will be able to assist anyone to reconnect if it's necessary. Can I ask if people keep their microphones on mute unless they are invited to speak? And if you wish to speak, please use the hands up function in Microsoft Teams. And today we'll be voting on some items via hands up and others by roll call. Right, apologies for absence. Well, I think I mentioned those as we were going through. We haven't had any other apologies, have we, Rebecca?
No, Chair, just the one you confirmed already.
Right, okay, thank you. The next item is declarations of interest. Councillors and officers are reminded of their personal responsibility to declare any personal and/or prejudicial interest in respect of any item of business on this agenda in accordance with the Local Government Act 2000, the Council's Constitution and the Code of Conduct for both councillors and officers. So please use the hands up function if you have any such declarations. No, I don't think there are any. Item 4 is to approve and sign the minutes of the Sacre held on the 12th of November 2020. So we need to take these through page by page to check for the accuracy. So it's page 1, page 2, page 3, and page 4. Somebody willing to move that they're an accurate copy of our minutes of our last meeting? Right, thank you. That's seconded as well. Right, so it's been moved and seconded. Could you use the hands up function to vote whether you accept the minutes as a true and accurate record?
Chair, that's unanimous.
All right, thank you. Thank you for that. Are there any matters arising from those minutes? Anybody wishes to raise any matters arising from there? No. We'll move on then to item 6, which is a report on the membership of the Caerphilly Sacre. So Hayley, I'll hand over to you for this one.
Thank you. So basically then, I understand that as a Sacre, your membership is strong. There are some gaps. There's some teacher vacancies, 2 teacher vacancies, and then there is a vacancy for a non-Christian member to join. So I understand that you have been in contact with Katine, the Onyx Link and Interfaith previous to this. This was pre-COVID though, so our work now is ongoing. So I'm just trying to catch up and try and fill that those vacancies. So I've contacted again Interfaith and Katine to try and fill these vacancies. So it's kind of watch this space. I will be working hard to endeavour to fill them.
Right, thank you, Hayley. Are there any questions before we note the report? No, that report is duly noted. And we'll move then to item 7, which is the Sacre's annual report for 2020-2021. And again, it's over to you, Hayley.
Yes, so for this item, I just need to know that you have read and approved of the report, and if there's any changes or amendments that need to be made after you've read the report.
Right. Well, we've received the draft of the annual report. Are there any questions or comments that anybody wishes to make about that annual report? No. Well, if there aren't any questions or comments, will somebody move that be adopted as our annual report?
I'll move, Chair.
Thank you. And somebody willing to second that? I can see, yes, Janet seconded. So thank you that. We need to vote on this one. So I'll call a vote on this one. And it'll be for, against or abstain. So I'll do it in the order it's here. Councillor Liz Aldworth.
For, Chair.
Councillor Teresa Parry.
For, Chair.
Catherine McCulloch.
For, Chair.
Claire McLaughlin.
For, Chair.
Janet Jones.
For, Chair.
Myself for. So I think that's unanimous. Beck, if you could confirm that.
Yes, Chair, that's 6-4, so that is unanimous.
Thank you. So our annual report has been accepted. Item 8 is the Sacre's response to Welsh Government consultation on the Curriculum for Wales Religion, Values and Ethics guidance.
Okay, so for me, I wasn't involved in the actual consultation period with yourselves. That was work that was done with Paula. However, an update on this is I can now confirm there's an embargoed or final draft of the RVE guidance should be shared with Sacri sort of pre-Christmas. That is the message that we've been getting from Sacri. So this will be sent to the Director's Education, hopefully, and clerks to the Sacri. It's imperative then that once you have this, that it's shared amongst yourselves, so you can all look at it and you know, see what you think of the final guidance going forward. It is important though to stress that this is confidential until it becomes published officially, and that won't be until after Christmas. It is literally just for you to have a look at, and then going forwards we will use that information then to discuss in our agreed syllabus conferences whether we're going to take this forward as our new agreed syllabus. So, and adopt it, or if we want to make changes or add anything to it. There is a little bit of a health warning with this though, because it has to be in line with the new curriculum for Wales, and it must not be too prescriptive or too much granularity is the word they keep using in regards to this supporting framework. So it is to support schools and not necessarily be prescriptive. So hopefully that will be shared with you pre-Christmas. And then going forward, we will set a date for the agreed syllabus conference so we can look at it and discuss it and see how we're going to move forward with the new framework that we're going to be adopting.
Right. Thank you, Hayley. A copy of this response is in the papers. Response was sent in under my name as chair, and that was because we emailed the sort of draft response out to Sacri members, and Sacri members were then asked to comment on it, and so the response that was finally then sent in was sort of took that all into account. So are we willing to note that response we submitted? Yes, and are there any questions that people wish to raise about it? No, okay, that's duly noted. Item 9, and again it'll be over to Hayley for a verbal update on the WJC assessments 2022 and the guidance on the design and delivery of mandatory religion, values and ethics. So again, over to you, Hayley.
Thank you very much, Chair. So WJC held two successful CPD events, one to a medium of Welsh, one to a medium of English. The WJC stressed that if exams go ahead, then obviously the adaptations will continue to take place, where pupils were expected to answer 3 out of 4 of the questions for GCSE across all 3 units. Year 11 will sit 2 papers at the end of this exam series now, so coming up to the summer. There is a requirement to not have to include, or there isn't a requirement, should I say, to include a non-religious worldview perspective in the 3D question. So this was removed. It was removed because they believed it was about making it fair. They will be credited if they talk about it in an exam, but they won't be at a disadvantage if they don't. So they wanted that to be duly noted. And SPAG then is still applicable to either question 3 or 4D, whichever one they choose to answer. Also, WJC have alerted schools that of a contingency plan. So if exams don't go ahead, then there is a fairly robust, there should be a fairly robust, the fairly robust way of looking at work, because the WJC might request that work is sent in and submitted so they can moderate it going forward, depending on how the exams play out going forward. So there is a highly likely chance they will moderate work. So they have to make sure the tasks are available for moderation. This information has gone in at the exams officers of schools, so they know that this is happening, and they have all the current updates in regards to this. So that is for the exams, really. RVE updates. Again, we are just waiting for the guidance to be published, so schools can move forward then with the new curriculum and RVE as they move forward. So nothing really has changed since the last meeting in regards to that, because we're still waiting for the guidance to officially be published and come out to yourselves.
Right, thank you, Hayley. Are there any questions for Hayley on that one? No? Well, that update is noted. And item 10 is again a verbal update from Hayley on any updates on the curriculum for Wales. I don't know if there are any that you have not actually mentioned already, Hayley.
No, the only thing I'd like to mention, thank you, Chair, is the fact that at the EAS they are doing a rollout of modules across different phases to support the senior leaders. And then if it filters down, it goes further down. These sessions are all recorded, so they are able to be viewed at your own leisure if you're unable to attend. The focus very much now, though, is on the rollout of the new curriculum for Wales and developing a middle leadership programme, which provides then opportunities to specialise in the areas of learning, specific areas of learning. Attendance at these sort of CPD events have been very low, and it's noted there's because of pressures within schools. So we all appreciate that within schools there are a lot of pressures on staff at the moment for staff to be released because of issues with COVID, illness, exams going on. So there is a flexible approach to how these sessions are run, again with the sort of pre-recorded sessions, so everybody has access to them where possible. But we do acknowledge that, you know, we are relying on goodwill of staff to cover each other to attend these CPD events. Additionally, there's been a secondary design group set up to address and focus on the primary sector. And there's regional and national networks that are going to be set up as the next steps. EAS also have task and finish groups on various aspects of the new curriculum, but again, it's difficult to run them because obviously we need the availability of the school staff, which is, you know, an ongoing issue, and we really do appreciate that. And yeah, I think that's about it really. That's basically where the EAS are at. So I don't know if you've got any questions.
Are there any questions that anybody has? No. Okay. Well, we'll note that update. The next item 11, is about Holocaust Memorial Day 2022. Again, it's you, Hayley.
Thank you. Yes, so schools, I believe, have been sent out by Rebecca, the information in regards to Holocaust Memorial Day. Yeah, so the Holocaust Memorial Trust have resources available, and we would, actively encourage you to go onto the website for primary and secondary to use these resources, and just share with us any kind of Holocaust Memorial Day events that you're planning or doing in schools. That would be lovely, and I can put it into my newsletter. Yeah, and one day is the theme, so, and you can interpret that however you wish.
Right. The recommendations there are to consider that and inform schools of the resources available, which is what we usually do, and to consider any involvement we could have in any local Holocaust Memorial Day commemorations. That may be difficult with restrictions, because last year Caerphilly Council's one was to light up Tipanacht Blackwood Miners Institute, and I think somewhere else, to show sort of solidarity with Holocaust Memorial Day, because it wasn't possible to have a physical event as had been the norm. If restrictions allow, and Caerphilly Council does organise a council memorial for or event for Holocaust Memorial Day, then we'll make sure that Sacre members are informed of that. So if there aren't any questions about that, we'll note that. The next item 12, is the schedule of meetings for 2022. I think we have one ready for March. Perhaps Hayley would be able to assist us a bit more on that one.
So I discussed some dates, and we penciled in the 28th of March for our next meeting, if that is possible for you to attend. We also tried to pencil in an agreed syllabus conference date, but we are still in the process of trying to finalise that. I think that is what we agreed, didn't we, Rebecca?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Yes, and I think unfortunately the next meeting will probably be on Teams. Hopefully, going forward, restrictions may be lifted enough that we will be able to meet physically, either in Tipanacht or in a school, which would be rather nice. But I know at present visitors are not allowed in schools, so until the restrictions are lifted, we're not going to be able to do that. So for the foreseeable future, meetings will still be on Teams. Right. And are there any questions about that? If not, we'll duly note that. And then item 13 are the minutes of the, again, virtual WASACA meetings. That's the Wales Association of Sacre Committees, from the 7th of October, the 23rd of March, and the 16th of June. A lot of that was taken up with WASACA's response to that consultation from the Welsh Government about RVE in the curriculum, and obviously earlier we noted our Sacre's response to that consultation. Are there any questions on those minutes? No. If there's no questions on those minutes, then we will note those. And item 16 is any feedback from the Sacre autumn meeting, which was held on the 23rd of this month, which was on Tuesday. So I don't know if you'd like to give any feedback on that, Hayley? Because I was at the first part of the meeting until about 11:30, and then I had to leave because I had other meetings. And I know that one of the items, which was a presentation from EAS to the meeting. So I don't know if you want to give a little bit of an update there, Hayley.
Yeah, so basically we were invited so across the region to do some presentations. So I myself and Georgia Bevan gave a presentation just basically on the curriculum for Wales and then where we're at with developing RVE going forward. We are very much in the process of trying to develop our relationship and our partnership with Sacres in schools and strengthen that link and strengthen your voice within the schools, which I think is really important, and using you as a Sacre and local people on the ground with religious backgrounds and your religious strengths to then go into schools and be part of this new curriculum, because I think it's really important because it's all about staying local and starting local and then moving out. And then we had some interesting feedback from what the other consortia are doing, and they're very much doing similar things, they just at different points, which was very interesting. They did say in the WASAC meeting that we will be, or teachers will be receiving PL in regards to the new RVE framework coming out and how this is going to be taught to the schools. So I think that's going to be really interesting. They are looking for members to join their working party. I think a letter has been sent to the Sacres, which has been shared, for teachers to come and join primary, secondary, across all sort of sectors to join this working party. They're looking at looking for 10 teachers to help create resources and professional learning around RVE. And I thought that was really interesting. And they're going to create a playlist or resources that will be shared on Hub. So similar to what's already on Hub, you can dip in and dip out of to help deliver RVE as we go forward. So if you'd like to be part of that, then there's a letter that is circulating. Rebecca, I'm sure you've sent it out. I've seen an email you've sent it to me, so I know that it's been circulated.
Yes, it's in the process of being circulated, Hayley, by the end of this week.
Perfect. So just get in touch with Rachel Samuels because she would love to hear from you. I think everything else in the meeting we've shared. So it was an update from WJC and then about the agreed syllabus conference, which we will sort out as we move along once we get the framework. And I think that was it really in regards to what Sacre, the Sacre meeting.
Right, are there any questions anybody has? No, right, well, we'll note that then. And item 17 is representation at the forthcoming WASAC meetings, which would be the spring and the summer. I think the dates haven't been set yet, so it's be very difficult to work that out. But as has normally been the case, when we have the dates, Rebecca will send out an email to all Sacre members asking who's available and would like to attend. So I'm sure you do that for future WASAC meetings, Rebecca.
Yes, Chair, that will be done.
Right, thank you very much. And then we'll note that then, and that brings us to the end of the agenda. So a very quick meeting, in fact. So thank you all for attending. I still look forward to the day when we'll be able to actually be physically together in the same room for a meeting rather than on screen, because I have to say I don't like these meetings on screen. It's not ideal, but under the circumstances that's what we have to do. So once again, thank you all very much indeed for your attendance. I'll now declare the meeting closed, and could I ask you to leave the meeting by pressing the hang up or the leave button. So thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.
Bye now.